up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big John and G, the two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. Hey, it is time, my friends, that I gave a shout out. So I would like to take a little bit of time to go over what I call a publisher's playhouse. I want to give a shout out to a specific publisher, one that has been impressing me, and I hope they impress you. So join me down the table, everyone, while we check out and talk about Shoot Again games. Shoot Again Games. Husband and wife design team publishers out of New Jersey, Nick and Diane Sawyer. Now, myself and Tommy V first got to meet them at LunaCon. I think it was LunaCon 2017. I think is when we met them. And it was the first time that we came across the company Shoot Again Games. Now we began speaking to them and getting to know them a little bit and their games. And since then, we've been continuously impressed. And I think the company needs a shout out. And I'd like to let you know about Shoot Again Games. Now, so when me and Tommy V first met Nick and Diane Sawyer at LunaCon, they had two games with them, and we had never heard of the company before, much less these specific titles. One of them was Looting Atlantis. Now, both of these games caught our attention because they're using concepts that are not overly seen a lot in board games. Yes, there have been board games about Atlantis out before, but it's not an overly populated theme. You know, like Cthulhu or zombies. So that, we appreciated that, quite honestly, tell you the truth. And so this game, Looting Atlantis, was about the fall of Atlantis. And you know, you're not trying to save it or anything, it's inevitable. You're just trying to escape. You're Atlanteans trying to get off the island while grabbing as much of your superior high tech as you can, before you go out to the more Neanderthalic lands, where the common humans are dwelling, and start a new civilization there, like maybe Egypt. Now, the other game that they had on hand at that time was Conspiracy. Conspiracy is another subject that's not normally touched upon. We were very interested. First two games right out of the bat, and there's something that you don't see a lot of. That is something worth noting, we thought. We got a chance to play both of these games. Conspiracy is a very fun set collection style card game where you're trying to prove modern conspiracy theories, like Hitler was cloned, or role-playing games are satanic, or the moon landing was fake. Lizard people are running the world secretly, things like that. And it has a very interesting setup with the tabloid use, so you can throw some stories to the tabloid that one of your competitors is trying to prove, and that disproves their theory. And it was a very, very fun and interesting take, followed by not a sequel, but a similar standalone game. It can't really be mixed together, but it's built upon the Conspiracy engine, and that's Bigfoot versus Yeti. And in this, they did a certain twist, with the Bigfoot Yeti cards being the same card, just double-ended. And this is how Bigfoot and Yeti fight over dominance of what end of the card is being represented. And this added a new mix to it, and we enjoyed that as well. Now, there was a game they had on display when we first met them, but it wasn't quite finished yet. It hadn't hit Kickstarter yet. It was still being developed. And it caught our attention enough to follow it through to its Kickstarter and actually getting a copy and playing it. And again, I have to say, a concept actually I've never seen on a tabletop before. Not without mechanical parts. I've seen small mechanical versions of it, these little table games, but not a board game. In this case, a card game simulating pinball. Yeah, simulating an arcade pinball experience. The game plays fast, and the balance between trying to maintain control over your ball while adding to speed, which of course makes it harder to control and takes away from control, and more control takes away from speed. The balance of it is fantastic, and something literally me and Tommy V would never have even thought of the concept of trying to bring to a table. Now, they had another game that was very successful on Kickstarter, and again, we're looking at something from a different perspective, a different angle, a different way of seeing it play out on the table. Nick and Diane decided to jump into the superhero genre for a game they called Born to Serve. Now, even when they met me that day, one of the things I brought up during a Q&A session with designers was why there's not enough superhero board games. At the time, the most popular answer was the cost. Spending the money for a Marvel or DC license was pretty much out of the question, and it was too difficult to manage heroes, especially heroes nobody would recognize and be interested in, for a board game that's not about a real comic book superhero. Well, I'm not saying I had something to plant the seed in the mind, but for whatever reason, flash forward a couple of years, and they come out with Born to Serve. Shooting in Games comes out with not just a superhero game, but again, a game that they are looking at from a completely different angle than everyone else in the field. They decided to take the superhero game and make it an area control management style game. And on top of that, they're not even fighting supervillains. No, because Nick and Diane Sawyer put a fun twist on the game. Made it feel like a cartoon. Made it feel like a Saturday morning or a Nick Jr., Disney Jr. style cartoon. By taking these superheroes and instead of fighting villains, they get defunded by the government and have to go out and get real jobs. And there's only one job available in this small town they operate out of, and that is one lowly sole position as a waitstaff for a diner. So all the players, the superheroes, are competing for this job against each other. And it's broken up into lunch and dinner. You can play a short version if you just want you have a quick game, or you can play the longer game and play both through lunch and the dinner crowds. This was brilliant. Again, something not only me and Tommy V would never have considered, for a superhero genre game, but we had never even heard anyone else talk about. We have been continuously impressed by this small publisher. Nick and Diane Sawyer have been hitting a ball out of the park that nobody's been watching. And it's about time that I think a spotlight was put on these two and their company, Shoot Again Games. I'm not sure what they're working on right now. I actually haven't talked to them in a while. I haven't emailed them probably in about a year, and that's my fault just because so many things happen. But they're a nice couple of people. They run a great company with family-friendly games that you can sit down at the table in front of anyone. And there's going to be a difference. The first time you play a Shoot Again Games, whichever title it is, it's going to be different. Whether the rules experience is different, the theme and genre is different, there's going to be a different feel than you're used to. So I think more people really deserve to know about this small company out of New Jersey. Like I said, they need people to watch them hitting these balls out of the park. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you take a moment to look into Shoot Again Games. They're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, and see what they're up to. Contact them. They're very friendly, open individuals. I'm your buddy Big John and G for Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Gaming, and my friends, I am out of here.